Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Celestine of Ghana Christian International High School. I'll encourage you guys to subscribe to Discord TV. Thank you. Bye bye.
Hello, eminent viewers. This is Ebenezer Wallace, your English tutor on HisGov TV. Last week, we started with the introductory aspect of grammar, and today we are to continue with a very interesting topic in English grammar known as word formation in English. That is how words are formed in English. You see, we have a lot of words that we use in the language, and it is necessary for students to know how these words came into being or into existence, or the various means by which these words are created as far as the development of the language is concerned. So today our main topic is word formation in English. Some scholars will coin it word formation processes. And with this, we are to study two word formation processes. One, affixation. And then two, derivation. So what is affixation? But then, before we move on, we have to consider our objectives. What do we seek to achieve? So this lesson will help you identify, explain, and use such morphological processes such as affixation and derivation. So what is affixation? Affixation is a process. You see, the word affixation comes from the word affix. So, affixation is simply the addition of a morpheme or an affix to another affix, or better so, that to another morpheme to form a single word. So, when we form new words by the addition of affixes, then we say we are in affixation, or we are using affixation as a word formation process in developing new words. So the addition of a morpheme to another morpheme to form a single word. So what then is a morpheme? You know, English as a language has 5 basic grammatical units, of which scholars believe that the morpheme is the very smallest among all these grammatical units. That is to say that the morpheme comes together to form the word. So if we are using words in the language, we arrive at words as a grammatical unit by the combination of certain morphemes. The smallest indivisible grammatical unit that has meaning. You see, traditional grammarians believe that the grammatical units, that is the initial stage, start with the word. And so if you could trace from your syllabus, you could see that usually it starts from part of speech, when you are dealing with the grammatical ranks, to a part of speech that is at the word level. Then you move on to phrase, move on to clauses, then you move on to sentence. But then there is a very important grammatical unit which is known as the morpheme, which happens to be the very smallest indivisible grammatical unit that has meaning. So it is as a result of the combination of morphemes that we arrive at words. Affixation may occur at the end of a word where it is called suffix. So when an affixation occurs, when you are using affixes to form words, and then you use them at the end of the word, such affixes are referred to as suffixes. So affixation may occur at the end of the word where it is called a suffix. So for instance, when you have the example book, the X here is a morpheme. And we said it is a smaller, indivisible grammatical unit that has meaning. And it is true. Now, when you have the word book plus S, which is books, now you can see that book is singular. So with the addition of the S, we are getting a different word, not necessarily a different meaning or a different content. But you can see that the S has changed something with regards to book. Book is singular, and the S being added has changed it to plural. So in that case, the S, which is a morpheme, cannot be divided into any grammatical content, but then it has meaning, which is the idea of pluricentricity. It has changed the singular word book to plural books. And with that, we said we are deriving, or we are creating new words by the addition of an affix. And so we are in the realm of affixation. And when it occurs at the end of the word, or the root that the affix is added, we said it is a suffix. So the word is talk plus ed. This is the past tense marker, and it is a morpheme. You can also refer to it as an affix. So talk plus ed will give you talked. So you can see that the ed has a meaning in that talk is a present tense, but with addition of the ed, which is a morpheme, it has changed it from the present tense to the past. So that is what we said, that the morpheme is the smallest indivisible grammatical unit that has meaning. And the type of morphemes that we use to create new words, and usually by adding them to the word at the final part of the word, we call them suffixes. So you could see that I have many examples here. We have play plus S, which gives you plays. We have boy plus S, which gives you boys. We have dance plus D, which gives you danced. We have calf plus S, which gives you calves. So that is suffix. All these are suffixes. They are suffixes because of their position. You see, they are affixes. That is the first place. but due to where they have been placed with respect to their root words, we refer to them as suffixes or a suffix. So you have more example: small, then plus er will give you smaller, tall plus er will give you taller, and many more. Now when we have suffix, we may have a counterpart, which is the prefix. So if we have a suffix and we claim that the suffixes end, or they are placed at the end of the word, then what would a prefix be? So when affixation occurs at the beginning of a word, it is known as prefix. So pre means before. So the word is happy. Now when you use the morpheme or the affix, un, you place it before the word happy, you get a different word, which is unhappy. Unhappy. This is a prefix because it is placed at the beginning of the word. The word is management. Now we have the prefix makes management. When you place it at the beginning of the word, it is known as a prefix. The next word we have write, which has the prefix re, by creating a new word known as rewrite. Then we have valuable. We have in being placed in front, making it invaluable. You see? So a new word has been created with a mere addition of what? The affix. Then we have pay, to pay. Then we have pre, being placed in front of pay to give you prepay. You see? So we get to know suffixes and prefixes with respect to their position in relation to words that they are attached to. So when you put the word at the end of the word, when you put the morpheme at the end of the word to create a new word, such morpheme or such affix is known as a suffix. And when you put it at the beginning of the word to get a new word, such affix or such morpheme is known as a prefix. It's very simple and interesting. Then respect. You see, respect. We have a prefix that is put at the beginning of the word respect. And so we have a disrespect. You see? And you appreciate the fact that respect is different from disrespect. And so with a mere addition of dis, we have created a new word. So that is affixation. Affixation. We have legal. You see? Legal. Then we wanted to create a new word, so we added il. So we have illegal. You see? Legal, illegal. So, as far as word formation is concerned, affixation is one of the major ways by which words are formed in the English language. So we have president, then we added the ex to get ex-president. You see, ex-president. So you can see that a new word has been created as a result of the addition of the prefix. So that is affixation in general. The addition of affixes to other morphemes to create new words. And we've established the fact that based on the position of the affixes, we can get a prefix or a suffix. Now, one important thing that we have to take note with respect to affixation is that in affixation, you could see that the morphemes that we attach to the words just inflect on that. Last week, I spoke about inflectional morphemes. You see, they just inflect. It will just be the number. So if it is singular, it inflects on it to change it to plural. If it is a verb, you don't see any drastic change. So the word is write, then I added re to arrive at rewrite. So write, rewrite, they are all verbs. You see? So something like pay, prepay. You get it? So legal, illegal, they are all adjectives and the like. So that tells that in affixation, we don't actually develop new vocabs. You see, we create new words in a way, but we don't actually develop new vocabs. You see, it's somehow an embellishment of the original words. So if the word is happy, and I said I'm happy, you see, it's not something so new. If I'll put it that way, it's not something so new. If it is right, and I said rewrite, it's not something so new. If it is management, I said mismanagement, it's not something new. It is just an addition of an affix to just arrive at a new word. But when you pay critical attention to the new subtopic, derivation, you see, derivation connotes derive. You see, derivation connotes derive. So to derive new words from other words. So unlike inflectional morpheme that make the grammar of the English. So the point I wanted to make is that with respect to affixation enhances the grammar of the English. You see, it just enhances the grammar of the English. It makes the grammar more accurate. So if it is book, and you want to construct a structure like, they brought me 4 books. You see, you may be wrong to say, they brought me 4 books. And so, there is the essence of inflecting on the book, which is in singular, to arrive at the plural aspect or the plural counterpart of the word. And so, it helps to accurately construct grammatical structures. But derivation or derivational affixes or morphemes are vocabulary builders. They are vocabulary builders. When you are dealing with derivation, you actually build new vocabulary. So they are vocabulary builders. So some scholars refers to the inflectional morphemes or the affixes as grammar makers. You see, they make the grammar. But derivation or derivational morphemes are vocabulary builders. That is interesting. So most derivational affixes have a tendency of changing the word class of the word that the affix is attached. You see, they have the tendency of changing the word class. I believe you know the word class, what some scholars refer to as a part of speech. So you can see that the word may be in a particular part of speech, but after the addition of the derivational morpheme, it will change it to a different part of speech. So in that regard, you can see that the meaning of the word will totally be different. It is not a matter of embellishing as we had in the affixation. Derivation will actually change the class. So examples of class changing derivational affixes. See, it is worth noting that specific forms of affix give specific word classes. So there are specific derivational morphemes that we use them, and when you use them, automatically you get to know that no, this word should be either a noun, it should be an adjective, it should be an adverb, because of the derivational morpheme that has been attached to. So that is what we meant by a tendency of changing the class or the part of speech of the word that they are attached to. Thus, there are noun-forming morphemes such as, so we have noun-forming morphemes. You see, noun-forming derivational morphemes or noun-forming derivational affixes. Noun-forming derivational affixes. So one of them is I-O-N. You see? I-O-N. Added to a verb. So when you have a verb, and usually you add I-O-N to it, it changes the verb to a noun. And that's why we refer to it as what? A noun forming. So I-O-N is an example of a noun forming derivational affix or derivational morpheme. So as you can see here, the word or the root word is edit. To edit is a verb. And we added I-O-N. So we have addition. You see? Addition. Addition, which is a noun. So the word edit has totally changed after we added the I-O-N. So to edit is a verb, but the addition of the I-O-N has completely changed it to what? A noun. So the word is donate. So to donate is a verb. I-O-N has changed it to what? Donation, which is a noun. Possess. To possess something. You see, a verb. I-O-N has changed it to what? A noun. Possession. Possession. Now the word is educate. To educate is a verb. We added I-O-N and now we have what? Education. Education. So this is a typical noun forming morpheme or noun forming derivation or derivational morpheme. We have the ER. When ER, the morpheme ER is added to a verb, it changes it to noun. So swim, then we have swimmer. We have teach, we have teacher. Dance, dancer. Bank, you see bank. Don't be confused with bank. Bank as it is used in a verb, you see. Someone could say, I want to bank some transactions. You understand? I want to bank some money. So to bank some money means you want to involve in some transactions with a bank. So not bank as a noun, but bank as it is used in the form of verb. And when we use the derivational morpheme, or when we add the derivational morpheme, we arrive at what? Bank. You see? Bank. Good. Examples of class-changing derivational affixes. We also have the adjective forming, you see, the adjective forming morphemes. So typically, we know that when we come across certain derivational affixes like like AL, we know that the word is an adjective. So the word is culture. Culture is a noun. But with addition of the derivational morpheme, AL, it changes it to what? An adjective. So we said we have an adjective forming what? Morphemes. Added to nouns. So the word is nature. AL, we change it to natural. You see, emotion. Emotion is a noun. And when we add the AL, we arrive at what? Emotional. We have electric, you see? Electric. Then we added the adjective forming the derivational morpheme, AL, to arrive at what? Electrical. You see? So typically, when you see them, you know. Now, the next one is what? FUL. See, the noun is fate. FUL, we change it to what? Faithful. So, the FUL is an adjective marker. We have the word help. Plus FUL, you arrive at what? Helpful. We have grace. FUL, graceful. We have peace, peaceful. And what have you? We also have verb-forming affixes attached to nouns. For example, IZE. You see, when you add IZE to a noun, you arrive at a verb. You see, hospitalize. The word is hospital. When you add IZE, hospitalize. Now the noun is patron. IZE, patronize. You get it? Then you see, organ. You see, when you have organ is a noun. Then we have IZE, making it what? Organize. We have drama. Then we added dramatize. You understand? Now we have the EN. When we add it to a noun, we arrive at what? A verb. So height, we have heighten. Light, lighten. As they are used here. Length, you see, lengthen. You understand? Good. Then we have adverb forming morpheme, mainly added to adjective. So when you add the derivational morpheme ly to adjectives, they change them to what? Adverbs. So the word is quick. Quick is an adjective. Ly, we change it to what? Quickly. And that is what? An adverb. Slow. Slow is an adjective. Ly, we change it to what? Slowly. Active, you see, actively. And what have you? Now we have a derivational morpheme. We have a derivational morpheme which does not change the class. So as we have class changing derivational morphemes, we also have class maintaining. Even though they are derivational morpheme, they totally change the meaning of the word, but it doesn't change the class of the word. So we call them class maintaining. You see? We call them class maintaining. So it means that if the word is a noun and you add such class maintaining derivational morpheme to the word that will be created will still be in the same class, which is noun. So we have for example, UN added to happy, we make it what? Unhappy. So to say happy, if you are happy and unhappy, they are not the same. So you can see that the meaning has been changed. So new word, new vocabs. I told you that derivational morphemes are vocabulary builders. So you can see that a new vocab has been built But then, the class of the new vocab has not been changed, or the original class of the root morpheme or the word. See, when I talk of the root morpheme, I'm talking about the original word that we added the affix to. See, it has not been changed. You understand? So we have faithful. Then we added an, the un, an. So we have unfaithful. We have kind. We added the un and kind. The same class. They are all adjectives. Just that the meaning has been tempered. The meaning has been changed. That the class is maintained. So we refer to them as what? Class maintaining derivational affixes. So we have H, another example, HOOD, as in hood. Hood. So we add it to child, then we have what? Childhood. We add it to man, we have manhood. We add it to nation, we have nationhood. Woman, womanhood. And you realize that the class is still a noun. They are all nouns, despite the addition of what? The derivational morpheme. So today, I have taken you through two ways by which words could be formed, and these are affixation and derivation, respectively. Kindly try your hands on this exercise. So what is affixation? I mentioned it as I was teaching. Then why do you refer to derivational affixes as vocabulary builders? A nice question for you. Then question 3, with illustrative examples, differentiate class changing derivation affixes from class maintaining.
TV, first among equals.